American lobster. If you've ever seen a lobster in a tank, it's probably this one. They live in the cold, rocky waters off New England, and the crazy thing is, they just don't stop growing. Scientists think some might live to be over 100 years old because their bodies don't really break down with age like ours do. One claw is a heavy crusher for shells, and the other is a sharp cutter. They've been fished by the millions for 200 years, and yet they're still out there in massive numbers. It's a level of biological toughness that's hard to wrap your head around. European lobster. This one is a bit of a picky eater compared to its American cousin. It's got this deep, almost bruised blue color and hides in very specific cracks and crevices along the European coast. The problem is, it grows much slower. Because it takes so long to reach adulthood, it doesn't bounce back well when too many are caught. Occasionally, fishermen pull up one that's a bright neon blue. It looks like a miracle, but it's just a rare genetic glitch. For a long time, people thought these blue lobsters were good luck charms, but they're just rare survivors in a very crowded ocean. Spiny lobster. The first thing you'll notice is that they don't have claws at all. It feels wrong to even call them lobsters, but they make up for that by being covered in sharp, forward-facing spines. If you try to grab one, it's like grabbing a cactus. But the weirdest part is how they move. When the seasons change or a storm hits, they form a single file line, sometimes dozens of them, and march across the seafloor. Each one holds onto the lobster in front of it with its antennae. We still don't fully understand why they do this ritualistic march, but they've been doing it since long before we were around to watch. Slipper lobster. This thing looks like it was flattened by a steamroller. It's got no claws and no long antennae. It's just a shovel-nosed, mottled brown slab. Because of that shape, it can wedge itself into reef cracks where a normal lobster would get stuck. Most divers swim right past them because they look exactly like a rock. It's the ultimate camouflage. Even though they look like a mistake of nature, their tail meat is actually considered better than real lobster in some parts of the world. It's a perfect example of an animal that prioritized hiding over fighting. Squat lobster. Here's a fun fact to tell someone. This isn't actually a lobster. If you look at the DNA, they're actually closer to hermit crabs. They just happen to evolve a body that looks like a lobster because that shape works so well for survival. You can find these things in tiny tide pools or 2 miles down in the pitch black of the deep sea, living near volcanic vents. The fact that the exact same body design works in a sunny puddle and in the crushing pressure of the abyss is just incredible. They are the ultimate copycats of the ocean. Mantis shrimp. People call this a lobster all the time, but it's really its own category of chaos. It's famous for its punch. It strikes so fast that the water around its claw actually boils for a split second, a force strong enough to break aquarium glass. But look at its eyes. Humans have 3 types of color receptors. These things have 16. They see colors we can't even imagine, and light patterns we can't even detect. Why does a shrimp living in a hole need better vision than a human? Nobody knows. It's just sitting there in its burrow, seeing a world that we are literally blind to.